everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Huck. Today we are doing my last book haul of the year, my Q4 book haul. So these are all the books that I got in October, November, and December, which honestly is mostly just October. I bought so many books in October. There were a lot of releases in October that I was excited about, and then there were like maybe 2 things that I got in November and then nothing in December. My book buying really kind of wound down for the year, but I do have some plans for early 2026. But let's just get into the books that I bought, pretty much what I bought in October. Also, a good number of these I have already read, so they are not going onto my TBR for 2026. But I have 3 books here that are kind of in a similar genre, which was kind of my fall vibe. The first one we have is Evocation by S.T. Gibson. This is adult paranormal romance. There is a polyamorous romance in this. I picked this up because I think maybe the month before I had read The Hollow and the Haunted and really enjoyed that. I was waiting for the sequel to come out, and this book always just gave me a similar vibe as The Hollow and the Haunted, I guess because they are both paranormal, they both have some romance in them, they're both blue, I don't know. So I just decided to pick this one up. It wasn't like a big hit for me, it was kind of just okay. I wasn't super invested in the characters in this one, but this isn't a book review, I won't go super into it, but this one is following 2 men. I think they are in Boston. They used to be in a relationship when they were in college. They have since broken up. One of them has gotten married, but they are both in this kind of magical secret society together. So they are sort of still in each other's spheres, but have sort of a contentious relationship between them. One of them starts to suspect that something weird is going on with his magic, and there may be a kind of ancestral curse or some maybe nefarious deal with the devil that a past ancestor has made that is coming to collect. And the only person he can truly trust is his ex. And so this pulls them back together. Speaking of The Hollow and the Haunted, the second book in the duology, The Forsaken and the Fated, also came out at the very end of October, I think. And so I picked this one up. This is YA paranormal with a little bit of romance to it. In the first book, our main character comes from a family of psychics. He lives in an area where there are multiple families of psychics. And while he does not usually get like visions or prophecies, one day he suddenly gets a vision of a boy who is going to die. And then he finds out that that boy is the son of a rival psychic family. And so he has to figure out how to convince this kid that, you know, something is going to happen to him, and then the two of them are trying to figure out how to prevent this and unraveling, you know, family secrets. So I really enjoyed the first one, The Hollow and the Haunted, and picked up the second one. I actually read this in December, so this will be in my December wrap-up. And then the last one kind of in this paranormal vein is Hazelthorn by C.G. Drews. This is a YA botanical body horror that is a standalone. I read another book from this author last year. It was one of my favorite books of the year, which was Don't Let the Forest In. So I was very excited for this new release. And this one is following a boy who has been kind of growing up secluded from the world. He has lived his life kind of just confined to a single room. He's been very sickly. His parents died when he was younger, and so he's kind of under the guardianship of this strange, very wealthy older man. He is living in this huge manor that this man has, and he has kind of lived a very lonely life. Then at the beginning of the book, this man who is his guardian mysteriously dies. Our main character believes that he was murdered, and he is trying to figure out who or what killed this man while the man's kind of relatives descend upon the manor to get their inheritance, and his only potential ally is the grandson of his guardian who has died, and he has a very complicated and difficult relationship with this grandson, but he may be the only one who can help him. So I've also read this one already. I don't remember when I read this. It may have been in November, but I've also read this one. So all three of these already read, not going on my TBR. Next, we have Fate's Bane by C.L. Clarke. This is a little novella that is set in a kind of Celtic-inspired world. We are following our main character, whose name I have forgotten, Agnir, who is the child of a clan chieftain and has been sort of maybe kidnapped to be a hostage slash ward of a rival chieftain of a rival clan. And her living with this other clan is to essentially keep the peace. However, while living there, she is kind of always on the outside. She's never really a part of the clan because she's kind of a hostage. But she also starts to fall in love with the daughter of the chieftain of this rival clan, which causes all kinds of complications. Of course, things happen that pull them apart, test their love and loyalties, and this is another one that I have already read. I believe I read this in November. The next two I have not read. The first one is Kill the Beast by Sarah Swift. This one, first of all, fantastic cover, but this is kind of pitched as like Howl's Moving Castle meets The Witcher, which is kind of interesting. I always am intrigued by things comped to Howl's Moving Castle. They are not always accurate, but it is always interesting to me nevertheless. But in this, our main character, years ago, her brother was killed by this like mysterious magical beast, and she is set on revenge. So she has spent her life becoming this incredible monster hunter, and so we were following her and her loyal dog, who I have not read this yet. That dog better survive this book. But we were following her as she is finally, I believe, hunting down this beast and hopefully getting revenge for her brother's death. But it also is pitched as like cozy adventure fantasy, so I think it's going to be more cozy than maybe that sounds like it would be. I don't know, we'll see. I've heard that there's also a really great friendship in this, which I love. I love books that have strong friendships. The other book that I have not read is Witches of Honeysuckle House by Liz Parker. And this one probably most drew me in because one of the comp titles is Practical Magic, which is also one that I'm always kind of intrigued by. In this, there are two sisters who their mother has passed away and left them the kind of ancestral estate. One of the sisters has turned the house into a bed and breakfast. The other sister runs a bookstore and will not go near the family home, but then suddenly the house starts behaving strangely and dangerously, and so the two of them decide it is time to break a long-standing family curse before someone gets hurt. So I can see just from that premise some potential connections to Practical Magic. Sounds like it's going to be kind of cozy, especially if one of them is running a bed and breakfast and the other runs a bookstore. Like, those are classic cozy vibes kind of jobs. So that sounds like it's going to be fun. So of these three, this one I've already read, not going on the TBR. These two are going to be going on my TBR for next year. This is one that's probably going to wait until like September, October to read for those Practical Magic witchy vibes. Then I have two more Lady Night books, some of my most anticipated releases of the year. First is The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. This one I feel like has been all over the place. It is about our main character, Owen Mallory, who is a historian who is sent back in time to kind of ensure the preservation of one of the kind of national myths of Una Everlasting, the tragedy of Una Everlasting, who is this kind of mythological knight figure. However, as he is sent back in time to ensure that her story goes as planned, things become more complicated. He gets to know her and things are maybe not as they seem, and this does involve quite a bit of time travel, of kind of a time loop, doing and redoing the same events and manipulating history. I really enjoyed this book. I already read it and it was fantastic. Not a full 5 stars for me, but I think a 4.5. The themes in this, while not subtle, I think are fantastic. And also Alexi Harrow's writing is just beautiful, and just she writes with such clarity. It's fantastic. And then the other Lady Knight book is The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. I have just read this and it will be in my December wrap-up, so I won't say too much about it here. But this is another one that has some very similar themes to The Everlasting around stories and the power of storytelling, especially in the control of populace and the past and future. In this, we are following 2 characters who are part of kind of a predestined story. There are these stories that shape and hold together this world, and if those stories are not acted out the way they are meant to be, things fall apart, like literally parts of the country disappear. And so there are these people who are reincarnations of these characters from myths that hold up and create this world, and our 2 main characters are kind of reincarnations of 2 of those characters from a myth, which are the witch and the knight, and it's about the 2 of them trying to fight against this kind of destiny that is forced upon them as they find each other throughout lifetimes, and the ramifications of tearing down the systems that keep these stories going. And again, have already read both of these, so they are not going on my TBR. And then my last book is a book of poetry, which is The Never Was by Tyler Knott Gregson. Tyler Knott Gregson, I have read I think all of his other books of poetry. This is his most recent one. It just came out in 2025, so I am excited to have a new book of poetry from him. I haven't been reading a lot of poetry in recent years, but I used to read a lot more, so maybe I will get back into this because I know I enjoy his poetry, so this might be a good chance to like kickstart my poetry reading for 2026. Maybe that'll be my year to dive back in. So those are all the books that I got in Q4. Really, most of these are just from October, but whatever, it's Q4. But that is my last book haul of 2025. Let me know if you have read any of these, or what is a book that you got in 2025 that you have not read yet but you are most excited to get to in 2026. But thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye!